Falcons fans, welcome to this week's edition of FalconZone. I'm your host, Jeremy, the Impact York, ready to talk all things Falcons as only we can. So, what do we know at this point, right? What do we know at this point? Of course, if you want to follow this show or any of the other shows we have, you can go to our YouTube channel, Impact underscore media underscore. That's that little line at the bottom. Please share, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Leave us questions or suggestions or things you want, whatever you want to do. All kinds of content on there. Definitely appreciate all you guys, especially in the last year or so when we've really ramped everything up. But okay, where can we start with this Falcons team? Start off with so much promise, right? And then just weird things are happening. I don't believe in curses, so there's no curse. But you lose this game 24-23 to the Patriots. And a lot of people are like, well, if we wouldn't have missed that extra point, then we wouldn't have had that problem. Well, I agree. If you would have hit the extra point, we're talking 24-24, probably going to overtime or something, and it goes from there. However, how many other chances were there in the ball game for the Falcons to have a better performance and avoid it coming down to an extra point? A lot. Some of the comments by Coach Raheem after the game, he kind of said similar. They said, yeah, it comes down to that kick like that, and you miss that kick. He goes, well, it shouldn't come down to just one kick. Sometimes it does, but it shouldn't come down. There's many other times in the ball game we could have done something different. That's the point. That's what a lot of people, we do in our own lives. We let it get to the very last moment and we try to make a rash decision and it doesn't pan out and we blame that one decision there. Well, what about all the ones leading up to it? Could we have done something different? And I think in this case we could have done some things differently. I mean, I like the Penix was threw for 221 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was only sacked once, and it was a covered sack. It means the offensive line was holding up their end. The offensive line has been pretty good this year, guys. He threw for 3 touchdowns. Our rushing attack has been one thing that is just not there. I'm not sure if it's maybe the pass blocking is better than the run blocking, and there's just not any lanes there. I'm not sure if it's the scheme where just the lanes aren't there. I want to say that Bijan Robinson is still a top 3 running back in the league, and that Tyler Algier is a top 5 backup. But I mean, let's see what 16 carries for 71 total yards between Robinson, Penix, and Algier. Algier had 6 of them, 2 carries for 6 yards. Penix 2 for 19, 12 for 46 for Bijan. The Patriots' run defense is really good. Let's give them that credit, right? Let's give them that credit that maybe they did a good job of shutting that down. Drake London is becoming an all-world wide receiver, which I was pretty sure, and a lot of you guys are pretty sure he already was. 9 catches for 118 yards. But where's Darnell Mooney been? Kyle Pitts has been up in his a little bit. He missed 3 of the passes thrown at him, while London actually missed 5. And I won't blame them all on the receiver because Penix kind of flew a couple. But outside of London, there's not. So you got Penix to London, and then what? Like, other teams aren't afraid that Bijan or Algier coming out of the backfield, great. But Darnell Mooney, I need to start checking milk cartons on him. Pitt, he could bring it up a little bit. David Sills, I mean, they let Ray McLeod go, and he caught on immediately with like the Bears or something. So they kind of cleared the deck to make it a little easier for some of these guys, but it's not such a logjam. And it got worse. It got worse. London back is helping, but right now it's this is Calvin Johnson basically. This is Stafford to Johnson. That doesn't matter how good each of them are. At some point, everybody's going to figure out where the ball is going. So, gonna have to step it up. Gonna have to do something different with that. I think Penix is doing okay in his development. Sure, I agree with you guys. I wish it was up a little bit, but it's not. But in this case, just trying to get the most out of what they can bring to the table. Um, Mikael London with the 2 sacks and Jalen Walker along with Brandon Dorlus. I mean, think about that. This Patriots team that is now 7-2. They were 6-2 coming in. They've started to put it together. Drake May is a really good quarterback. You got to him. 3 of your guys got 2 sacks apiece. You got 6 sacks in this game. It would have took you 2 to 3, 4 games last year to get 6 sacks, and you got 6 in one game, and you couldn't beat the Patriots. I mean, and while 28-3 is a long time ago, and people will continue to mess with you guys about that until there's a worse one. Falcons fans, you're just gonna have to eat that one, by the way, what the team did there. But this defense is getting better, and they're getting after the quarterback. And I mean, everybody can use a corner. Everybody knows that. It ain't nothing on the corners here. Everybody needs one. Everybody needs pass rushing. Everybody needs that kind of stuff. But this is a team that we thought was going to win 10, 11, 12 games, easily win the division, and march into the playoffs to go smack somebody around. Now they're going to have to backdoor their way in as a wild card. It's still very, very attainable. But you can't blame Jesse Bates. He had the big interception, even brought it back, 10, 15, 16 yards, whatever it was. Agnew and Brooks being your kick returners have been doing fantastic. I'd heard they got rid of Parker Romo, but I've not seen that. But he hit his one field goal. Bradley Pinion's still an all-world punter. Can we get some sort of update on that? Can I see? Um, Somebody told me that they got rid of him, but uh, they did. They have brought in Zane Gonzalez, the veteran kicker. Okay. I've not heard confirmation yet. Somebody had mentioned it to me, but Zane Gonzalez out of Arizona State. I remember him kicking at Arizona State. Where has he kicked before? I know he's kicked in the league somewhere. There he goes. Yep. He has kicked in the league before. He's played for a couple other different teams, but Parker Romo just wasn't getting it done. And I think his range was about 40 yards. And nowadays, your range needs to be at least 45 to 50 because it's just what you end up needing. So the new kicker in there, we will see what happens. How Bradley Pinion and Liam McCullough, the long snapper, go from there. But man, this is another time. This was like the Tampa game where you should have beat the Patriots, and somehow you found a way not to. I mean, Drake May, 19 for 29, 259, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He was sacked 3 times for 38 yards. I can go into the Falcons penalties as well that got to him a little bit. New England didn't have really any rushing there. They had Demario Douglas, 4 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, who is going to get who is going to get his yards and stuff too. But Stephon Diggs only had 3 catches for 38 yards and a touchdown. You basically had him on lockdown. You couldn't pull it off. But that happened. That happened. So what do you do? What do you do? Well, you got to put it together because I believe the team is in Berlin right now. The Colts are going to host them for are going to host them um, for the game out in Berlin. That is 9:30 on Sunday, 9:30 a.m. NFL Network and NFL Plus. This is just the quirky kind of game that the Falcons will probably win. The Colts coming in at 7-2, and I mean they just added Sauce Gardner, which I will tell you right now, Sauce Gardner will be on Drake London. Absolutely, for one, it means he doesn't have to, worry about as much of the scheme, and two, lock down the best guy they got. So the Falcons are going to have to find other ways to beat them. The Colts are playing really good, but this is not a team that the Falcons can't beat. The Falcons can beat this Colts team. I think you have to pressure Daniel Jones. You got to get more people open than Drake London. You've got to establish a running game. Forget 3 keys. There's a handful of them. Hopefully Zane Gonzalez is a better kicker than Koo and Romo that you've just had this year. Just simple things that I think if they really put everything together, then I think it's going to work. But if they have a dreadful day on offense, I'll tell you right now, if they have a dreadful day on offense, I think Zach Robinson's going to get fired. Maybe not after this game, but sometime before the end of the year, because Arthur is going to give Raheem one choice. Either you go or he goes. And if he goes, it gives you about one more year with the next guy. I think Zach Robinson's done an okay job, but man, his inexperience as a play caller has really shown. And it's something he's got to get better at. There's just, I'm not calling him out for it. I'm not dogging him for it. He knows. He's tried some things and it hasn't quite worked, and he's tried to make some adjustments, and some of them have worked and some of them haven't really panned out yet, but it's just part of it. You can't go through life doing the same things over and over. Sometimes you got to make some option choices and just see how it goes. And sometimes those options are better and sometimes they're not. It's just something he's going to have to figure out. But right now, Indianapolis is only a 6.5-point favorite. And they have the total on this game of 47.5. That'd be like if both teams scored 24, they would beat that. I say take the over on the point, and I think the Falcons are going to win this game. Not because this is a FalconZone show. I think the Falcons are going to win this game because when you go to these weird matchups, the ones in London, the ones on Thursdays and all, it tends to favor the underdog. And I think in this case, our Falcons are going to find a way to get the victory. I think we are looking, it's going to be a crazy day. I'm going to say 31-27. So take the over and take the Falcons, or take the points if you want to take Indy. I mean, don't take if Indy wins, it's going to be less than 7 points. So maybe take the points there. But I think the Falcons are going to win. They're going to go all the way to Berlin. They're going to win that game. And I believe. And then they get the Falcons to follow. I mean, then they get the Panthers the next week. So it's going to be a busy time. You can't rest on your laurels. You can't think about, gosh, we lost that game by 1 point. You're already in another country. You're over there in Germany. You got to have some good food, look around at some cool stuff, and then you got to beat the Indianapolis Colts, which is exactly what I'm saying is going to happen. 31-27. That is possibly all I can say to break down that one. I know you guys will be watching. I know I'll be watching. And until next time, this has been FalconZone. We will see you guys next week. Go Falcons. Deuces, gooses.